Hi everybody, Eclectic Impromptus. So, remember on Tuesday when I took a walk around a lap on Hoops Park and did a video while I was walking? Well, I'm going to do another one today. So, I have some big steps that I've made within the past week. Tuesday I wasn't comfortable talking about it at the time, but I'm going to do that today. And I've got a couple of other big steps that are positive that's happened as early as last night. And I mentioned one of them a little bit, not in specifics, but I'm going to do that today. It involves the reef, so let's go ahead and take a virtual walk here. So last Friday, I made the decision to quit BG1. Excuse me, I'm sorry. On the surface, it seemed like a relatively calm. Drama was within reason, if not to a minimum, environment. However, if you went beneath the surface, there was a little more to it, and it was more toxic than I seemed to realize, and I caught on. I'm not saying this to vilify or demonize anybody that works there, and in fact, I wish them the best of luck, but I felt it wasn't a good environment, and it was toxic, and I had to do what I had to do. There's a side of me that did feel bad, but having to do what I have to do, mental health has to go first in some cases, so I've been learning that a lot, especially within, this year and past few years and possibly longer. Oh, there's somebody walking by. At the same time, last night I showed up at the reef for my evening shift, and that went great. My boss knew that I quit my other job, and some of the people at the reef also knew and are supportive. Boss decided to ask me if I'd be willing to work Tuesday through Saturday nights. I readily accepted, so I'm now going to be at the reef from now on and still go to school in the process. And I'm still going to YouTube and, have fun with it and have fun with the groups like Rack Guild and Cayuga Records. And that reminds me of another big step. There's this mental health group called NAMI. I believe it's National Awareness for Mental Illness. So it's basically being an advocate for those who struggle with mental illness. And the lady who's part of this group, it's nationwide, she saw me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and I went with it, and we had our meeting. So that's why I'm on campus, was we just had a meeting, try to come up and brainstorm ideas of how we can collaborate with other groups. And of course I brought up Rack Guild and Cayuga Records. So that's a possibility. I might, see what happens on that. And the people there seem really nice, and this lady seemed really nice, and I have another story about that. So as you can see, we're walking on the nature trail. Oh, there's a sign over there. I'll get that in a little bit. Looks like another. A few weeks ago, my art professor mentioned about this NAMI thing, and mentioned about art students collaborating, doing signs. I did volunteer, and the lady reached out and asked if I wanted to be a part of NAMI in meeting on Monday at 11. I had Cayuga Records at the time, but was willing to alternate every other week. She was understanding of it. And then yesterday she came back during printmaking class and asked if I wanted to come in today at 11, and I was cool with it. So I'll keep you guys posted as to how it goes and stuff, but here's one of the signs. I don't know if I'm going to get all of the signs, but I'm at least try to get some of them, if not most of them. Actually, you know what? I think it'd be a good idea to get all the signs. Well, I'll try to be as inclusive about this as possible. So, oh, and here's a really good sign. You don't have to go through this alone. Call or text 988 for the direct connection you need now. So if you're struggling and you need help, and all you got to do is call this number 988, and there is somebody that will talk to you. And you're not alone in this. There's a lot of people who struggle with mental illness, and if you need help with that, get help, please. And somebody will be there to support you. Let's see, go around this other side. You get to see the scenery in the process. and see the fall scenery in the meantime. You can see the pond. Sun's kind of shimmering on that a tiny bit. And yeah, while we're walking, expect me to get sidetracked at times, especially with these signs. Here's another good one. While I wait for the storm to pass, I will choose to dance in the rain. That's food for thought. I've seen posts like that on Facebook in the past. If there's a storm, just choose to dance in the rain. It's like the saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. So, you see some of the birdhouses too. And something else to keep in mind. Some time ago, I watched a video clip. It was a Solo in the Woods video clip. And she talks about nature and walking and being in nature. It's therapeutic. Art and music are very therapeutic. Nature is as well. I mean, you're getting the exercise and fresh air you need to clean your head. And if it's on a nice sunny day like this, it's cold, but it's nice and sunny. You get vitamin D, and it's important to get vitamin D. And going out in the sun, that's a surefire way to get vitamin D. Just, if you need to put on sunblock or wear a hat, that's fine. Of course, you don't want to get sunburned. That's never fun. Here's the bench. And we'll continue on this trail. I saw the 2 signs and had to get it. I am going to get these signs as best as I can. Another reason why I'm taking this clip and videotaping it in the process, besides sharing these 3 steps that's happened within the past week. And I know at random times I've taken clips here, but I think one big long one should be fun. Oh, and while in the NAMI group, the facilitator that talked with us, she also kept giving us little gifts like, here, have a t-shirt, here, have a pen. I was even given a laundry bag and an iPad tablet protector, like a little case for that, so that was cool. Now she seems like a really cool lady. And there were 2 other girls that were with me also. They seemed also very nice. So, trying to get everybody included on campus as possible, and I think that's an excellent thing there. We need to raise awareness when it comes to mental illness and those that struggle with it, and try to help them out as best we can. Of course, as long as it doesn't, affect us, and we gotta take care of ourselves before we can take care of others. So, also important to do that. There's a happy medium, and it's good to be in that happy medium if at all possible. Let's see. Yeah, and you can see some of the fall foliage at work and continue to be at work. This is really cool. I like the red leaves in particular. And another thing about being in nature, besides the physical aspect, you're taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally, and even spiritually. I mean, I'm not sure what everybody's religious beliefs are, and I'm not going to push my religious beliefs, but for me, it's God. But, if you follow another religious belief, I'm not going to judge. Not here to do that or say be a Christian or suffer eternal punishment. I'm not going to do that. But not ashamed to admit that I follow God and am a Christian and stuff. But to those that aren't in that direction, do what's right for you. But even being out in nature can help you to be spiritually better and spiritually connected and stuff. I also learned this from Solo in the Woods when she said there are many benefits to being in nature and strongly encourages us. And oh, you look at the tree over there. Oh, switch. Yeah, this tree is something else. The ones with all the red leaves. It's like many shades of red. Kind of ran out of things to talk about. If you know, I guess there's times if we walk in silence, we walk in silence. But you know, if something else pops up, I'll be happy to talk about that too. But we could take some time to enjoy the scenery, and sometimes silence could be a good thing. In some cases, silence is golden, but you know, just enjoying nature and works just as well. Yeah, this is beautiful scenery. Might even see a few birds. I mean, there's one in the trees there. Hope you can see it okay. Oh, maybe we'll see a bunny or even a deer. I've seen deer on this trail before in the past, so doesn't happen often. I think it was like the one and only time, and that was 2 years ago. But it was really cool to see that. Oh, here's another sign. Hey, here's a good one. There is always hope, even when your brain tells you there isn't. And you see the little doodles at every corner. Looks like a sun. There's random dots and lines here, probably to represent confetti and stuff. So that's cool. And then this little setup is kind of neat. Oh, yeah, this is kind of a neat little area. Kind of looks symmetrical here. And then you got somebody leaving a Coke bottle or some sort of water bottle or I mean, it does have some form of artistic expression, but that can't be good for nature. I mean, it's not good for animals to be eating that, for example, but maybe it's for an artistic purpose and there's something there I'm not seeing or something. That's also a possibility. Yeah, this little scenery, kind of like this a little bit. Whew. Getting my exercise. All right. Yeah, I'm not seeing any more of those signs, but that's okay. Maybe it's more towards the beginning of the trail and I didn't notice, exception of those 3 signs I just covered. And there's that rabbit rock. All right. Didn't anticipate on this video clip being so long. Normally it takes me, y'all, at least 15 minutes, if not less, so. But it's well worth it. You know, seeing those signs and, you know, just showing you around nature and we're getting through soon enough. I have to say this is like one of the most longest video clips I've ever done, but you know, it's not a bad thing. It's cool. At least you guys get to see what this is like, even if it's through, you know, kind of virtually, so to speak. Yeah, that's kind of pretty there. Those red leaves and stuff. I think out of all the fall leaves, I like the best. I like the red leaves the best. Or if it's like green with maybe a yellow or red tip, or there's red dots, or, you know, it's just a variety of different colors on the leaf. It's kind of cool looking. Been seeing that a little bit this year and been noticing it a little bit more, and I'm appreciating that. And see some of the dead wood here. I'm glad to be on this walk.